2-1. Hernandez, high drive, left field, and it is gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, Teoscar Hernandez has finally been taken off the free agent board. Ended up going to the LA Dodgers for a 1-year, $23.5 million deal. Far from the 4 or 5 year deal apparently he was looking for in free agency. I think it was more like a 4-year deal. But regardless of that fact, Jeff Passan was the one who broke the news. But the crazy thing is that Teoscar Hernandez is going to a Dodger team that he would be batting in the bottom third of that order potentially, at least to start out the season, which is absolutely crazy compared to him going to other teams like possibly like the Red Sox, where he probably would bat in that middle part of that order. Absolutely. And I posted an article, and obviously I don't want this to be the Red Sox could have landed Teoscar Hernandez. It's a whole different issue with the Red Sox at this point in terms of them not wanting to go over the luxury tax. They want to shed payroll before they make any sort of financial commitments and stuff like that. So it seems to me the most I'll say about the Red Sox, at least in this case, is that since Teoscar is off the board, they are seemingly all in to get Jorge Soler. I would love Jorge Soler to be a part of the Red Sox team. I think he'd be absolutely phenomenal for this team. Going back to Teoscar and going back to the Dodgers, yeah, he's going to be batting around the bottom third of that lineup on a 1-year deal, so like he would be able to test the market again, I guess, next season. They got so much protection around Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman for this Dodger team now, and Shohei Ohtani. The talent is absolutely nuts for this Dodger team right now. And I know people will look at the Dodgers and just be like, it's an all-star team. Like, the team on paper looks great, and a lot of people say it's World Series or bust, or they better not lose the World Series or anything like that. And I pretty much have looked at that notion. Yes, it's World Series or bust when they signed Shohei Ohtani. Even if they made, like, if they didn't get Yamamoto and they didn't get Teoscar Hernandez, or if they're like they just stopped making moves after signing Shohei Ohtani, you're looking at probably the best team in baseball on paper. But also at the same time, it's a long season. 162 game season is an absolute grind, so anything can happen. And even in the postseason, that's why baseball is so much fun. Both the postseason of baseball, anything can happen, and it could really hold true this year. So I'm not a part of the camp that, oh, the Dodgers are a far gone conclusion that they're going to win the World Series. I think they, on paper, are the absolute favorites. I'm not going to allow something like that to kind of like hinder my experience when it comes to watching baseball this season. Every team has a good chance. If you make the postseason, you have just as good a chance as any to win the World Series. Like, baseball is so unpredictable at times that the teams that were the absolute underdogs going into the postseason, and people did not anticipate them to be anywhere close to where they were, and then they end up winning the whole thing. So yes, the Dodgers have otherworldly expectations that they put on themselves for bringing in, and they're having a payroll a little over $300 million, and they may not even be done. I don't know if they'll end up signing somebody else, or hey, they may even go and try to swing a trade. Who knows? Like the whole Corbin Burns situation, seeing that he's kind of really set on heading to free agency. I mean, what would stop the Dodgers from calling up Milwaukee and making a trade, even if they get Corbin Burns for 1 year? Just, you know, just add more fuel to that fire, you know, have the best rotation in baseball. But I'm not sure exactly how likely that is. But the fact that they're bringing guys in, it's seemingly like they're going all in this season, but also it allows them, because certain players are going to be blocked in the minor league system when the Dodgers have a great farm system still, so they can even go and swing to get a group of stars. Or I've seen mock trades of Shane Bieber and Emmanuel Clase from Cleveland getting traded to the Dodgers. Dylan Cease, I know like the Yankees have been in on him and everything. I'm not sure that the Dodgers are done, but my goodness, like they are having probably the greatest offseason for a single team in like in the last few years. I'm not sure where it lands in terms of like all time in terms of off seasons, but getting the best player in baseball, like any secondary moves you make after that, like that's just icing on the cake. Bringing in arguably like the two top names in this free agency, and Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani, you're doing something really well as an organization. So I tip my cap to the Dodgers organization going to spend money and being serious about winning a World Series. But it's about putting it in practice. That's the most important thing. His home and road splits were absolutely like night and day. Pretty much adding protection to that lineup. I feel like Dodger Stadium is going to do him very, very well. Having names like Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani, Will Smith, Max Muncy, and I know I'm forgetting some guys like James Outman. Having like your 1 through 9 being very, very productive hitters. They're going to have to pitch to somebody in that lineup. So I think Teoscar's going to reap the benefit. That for the Dodgers, a great move. I believe some of the money is going to get deferred, of course. Going for a 1-year deal to play with the best team in baseball, arguably, compared to getting maybe a 1 or 2 to 3 year deal, because I don't think a lot of teams were biting on the whole idea of signing a 31-year-old to a 5-year contract. I'm not mad at the signing one bit. Like, I'm disappointed, obviously. The situations, like looking at his free agency, Teoscar Hernandez's free agency, it was either you go to a weird team in Boston, you go to Boston and you're potentially like you're batting in like the heart of that Boston order, and you're fighting in a very, very, very competitive AL East, and with an organization that's giving mixed signals to their fan base about whether or not they want to be competitive. Or you want to go to the Dodgers, play with multiple all-stars, and be pretty much all in on trying to win a championship and guaranteed nearly playoff bound at this point. So like, again, and then you test the free agent waters next year and probably get a more of a longer term deal, at least compared to maybe a 2 or 3 year deal, who knows. I hope Teoscar has himself a bounce back year with the Dodgers. So I do like the move absolutely for the Dodgers. And hey, I don't blame Teoscar Hernandez one bit from inking a deal with the Dodgers at all.